I'm a lieutenant colonel and a battalion commander in the Army Reserve.
Tulsi Gabbard has been getting a lot of attention lately.
I was grateful and honored to accept President Trump's offer to serve our country and support his objective to defend the safety, security, and freedom of the American people as the Director of National Intelligence.
I think Gabbard is great. She's very, very solid. She's the candidate the Democrats should have run. She's everything Kamala Harris claimed to be. It's like, why the hell didn't they run her? They could have, Maybe it's because she had her own thoughts.
Always believe in what can be, unburdened by what has been.
Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating.
Gabbard is the singularly least qualified person who has ever been nominated for any cabinet position, and we have had some real bozos in years past.
It's a place she has been in before, having left the Democratic Party and then joining the Republicans in 2024.
Proud to stand here with you today, President Trump, and announce that I'm joining the Republican Party.
Maybe the best way to get to know her is listen to her long-form interviews on Chris Williamson's Modern Wisdom podcast, her Joe Rogan appearance, or interview with Dr. Phil. She also has her own YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers.
The most important qualification that any of us should seek from someone who wants to serve in public office is your motivation and the principles and sense of purpose that you are grounded in. I served in some of the highest positions in Democrat politics in our country, and I've seen behind the curtains. It's a sad state of affairs when some of the most influential voices in our country will label someone a lover or supporter of dictators simply because you're saying, hey, we shouldn't be going to war. There is another way.
Now, Tulsi Gabbard has never been in a managerial position ever, not even a fast food restaurant. She's never run an agency. She's never managed people. She's never managed multiple agencies. She has no background in intelligence as an operative, as an analyst, as a manager.
You've been attacked quite a bit. How do you deal with that?
It really stems from having a clear sense of purpose. I've served in state government. I've served on our city council in Honolulu and served in Congress. But at no time have I seen this as a quote unquote political career. I don't have that ladder climbing ambition that a lot of politicians have. My sense of purpose is deeply rooted in my dedication and my desire in my life to be pleasing to God and to live a life of service. We were in Iraq for about a year in 2005. Yeah. It was an experience that completely changed my life. And then I was elected to Congress 10 years later. Are you motivated by the singular sense of purpose to serve, to do what is necessary, to get the information, to be that independent critical thinker, to make the best decision you can possibly make towards that end of solving problems that serve the interests of your community, the state, or country, and that the barriers to access that you believe are there? What are the qualifications to run for president? Be a citizen of the United States and be 35 years old. That's it. You don't have to have a college degree.
The job she's been nominated for is the Director of National Intelligence. Now, there are over a dozen arms of the U.S. government that have some sort of intelligence capability. Central Intelligence, obviously, the FBI, the DEA, Homeland Security, the Defense Department. And the DNI's job is to basically ride herd over all of them and collaborate and manage all of the agencies so that no one is working across purposes, and that in a single person, you can have somebody that is so wired and so aware that the president has a one-stop shop when they need information.
Being exposed to the war profiteering of the military-industrial complex, even just on our camp and the operations that were happening in that country, was incredibly eye-opening. And that whole experience, when I came back from that deployment, really felt compelled to find a way where I could take those experiences and try to affect those decisions being made about war and peace. And it caused me to really take a deeper dive into our country's history and present day approach to foreign policy that has for too long largely been interventionist in the sense of let's go out and be the policeman of the world, not really making these decisions based on what is in the best interest of the American people. The war machine in Washington is that the way that they assume we must exercise that leadership is through the use of either economic warfare or dropping bombs. peace through strength is multifaceted and requires the kind of direct engagement and diplomacy that we've seen over time from leaders like President Kennedy with Khrushchev and with Ronald Reagan and, quite frankly, with President Trump. When he was first in office as our commander-in-chief, I would want that person to go and have a good rapport, to be able to pick up the phone and call Putin, call any leader in the world to advocate for our interests, for the interests of our country. And President Obama refused to engage with Kim Jong-un. And the reason his administration gave was, we don't want to reward Kim Jong-un with a meeting with President Obama. Today's Democrat Party leadership cares more about their own self-interest and their own power. And this was the party that I joined. It was a more inclusive party. It welcomed people from all different religious backgrounds and faiths and different beliefs. I'm not them. I didn't come up through Yale or Harvard or some fancy Ivy League. I don't have money. I haven't served in office for 20 years. Like, I don't have what they have. And my answer to them is the most important quality. The most important qualification that any of us should seek from someone who wants to serve in public office is your motivation and the principles and sense of purpose that you are grounded in. It was astounding to me that after so many years of Iraq and Afghanistan, that they were saying, hey, we want to go drop some bombs in another country, and we don't think they'll respond. And I came out publicly against President Obama's course of action. I got a call within 24 hours. Their response was not, we know you've been deployed to the Middle East a couple of times. We know you have this experience. What are your concerns? They were not interested in substance. They admonished me for having the audacity to go against my president. And that was all they cared about, was loyalty to President Obama and the party. And we saw the same under Republicans, under President Bush, that they wouldn't go against their president, even if they knew that his policy was wrong. We don't want blind followers. What kind of people we are electing into office, either by voting for or against, or by just staying home. They threw out the Russia hoax. There were all of these different tactics that they were using to try to force this total compliance. It's something that comes from their tried and true playbook, where anyone, because it's Donald Trump, it's Bobby Kennedy, it's me, it's, even Elon Musk. They did it with the Hunter Biden laptop. It is the excuse that they use to try to discredit a person or information that they don't want voters to hear from or to see or be exposed to.
She's a conspiracy theorist. She's a friend of the Syrian government. And it's the general opinion of most of the American intelligence community that she's been an active Russian agent for years. All of this will come up in her vetting document.
Like my associations with Russia or whatever. Like, I've never been to Russia. I've never met Putin. I don't know what exactly they were talking about. None of them asked Hillary Clinton for evidence or proof. People believe this. I'm still serving in the military today. I've been in for over 21 years. Not a single one of them said, hey, this is a member of Congress on the Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committee who